is very good at this defense with macro, just build up an army and push out. He's always good with his grades. I would sit here and talk about Happy more, but personally I don't know anything about him. We're getting ghosts for Happy, getting that engineering bay. Is that his first engineering bay? It looks like it is, so no upgrades for the bio ball. No upgrades on the air units either, so we're looking at strictly a numbers army, not any kind of brute force. There is some sort of engagement going up here. Not sure what that was. Probably just a single stalker or something like that. Scan sees the entire Whitera army, and these Banshees still flying around. And really, both players are just on their toes, poking and prodding at each other. Neither player can really push on the other, and it's making this a very nerve-wracking game. However, Happy now taking his third. Whitera really needs to do the same. However, Happy is sitting on quite a bank right now, dropping that sensor tower. As soon as that sensor tower is finished, yes, it does create a protective ring for the Terran player, but Whitera can see it on his minimap and instantly knows that third is there. So it serves a benefit to both players, really. Missile turret going down, it will be able to detect any observers that fly by, and the Ghost can decloak units as well. So Whitera putting a pylon down here, maybe for scouting, but maybe in preparation to get that third base down there. The army comes down here, assuming there'd be a third, but he doesn't see one, so he's not going to get caught at a position down there. Whitera sending a Zealot here, going to see the entire army, so now he knows what he's up against. He can adjust his army mix. He has Templar archives, but no Storm yet. I think feedback is the goal of that, and also to build some High Templar in advance to get energy, but we are not seeing any High Templar on the field just yet. Also, come the patch, Archons will be great, so just having that there is the cheapest way to get Archons versus the Dark Templar alternative. But here we go, we're seeing those High Templar warp in. Still no research for the Storm, but there you go, just getting Archons. They are so good at soaking up damage, and they are pretty damn good at taking out clusters of air units as well. Great against Bio with their splash damage. And come the patch, they will not be able to be slowed by Marauders. These Marauders do have their concussive shells, so right now this is pre-patch, baby. So they're still going to get slowed. So we'll see how Whitera arranges his army. I'm not sure if it'd be better to put the Archons in front or the Zealots in front. Who knows? But Zealots, they're pretty much just there to tank damage for the rest of your army. So they're the fodder. And there you go, Whitera's going to break these down. He really needs to take his third. He's taking it here. However, his opponent does have the Gold Expo. Sniping a scouting Zealot over here, not worth much to anybody. Breaking those rocks, those are finally down. Whitera will be able to take that as his fourth if he so wishes. And I think it would be a good fourth for him to take. I'm surprised that Happy has not taken his fourth. There he goes, building his fourth command center. Whitera, I'm curious, his upgrades are 2-2 versus his opponent's 1-0, and we're going to see an engagement here, I believe. And oddly enough, there's no PF here for Happy, which is usually what you're going to see. And that PDD goes down real fast. The Colossus go down. There's so many Vikings here. Archons getting in the mix. Zealots getting on top of that Bio army. The Stalkers are trying to pick off the Vikings. The Vikings land, and they're going to rip apart these Stalkers. And this looks like a very one-sided fight for Happy. He comes out of that the winner. A couple of warped-in Zealots to try and whittle down the army a little further. And an Observer is the last survivor. He's a little upset. He's too afraid to move. And, yeah, it's just chilling. So now Whitera gets a good idea of what the army is. He can build his new army to match the situation. And now that he has his third up, hopefully he can get these gases saturated and really refit his army to deal with this threat. The Observer is going to move along with the army. We're likely going to see some sort of scan or EMP to kill that, though. I'm surprised Happy has not noticed it yet. A pylon goes down for Whitera, but he has tons of supply, as he was maxed before, I believe. Going to stay away from building Colossus, which is the smart choice because there were so many Vikings. However, the Vikings are on the ground, and he's going to engage this expansion. Whitera cannot afford to lose this one bit. And Whitera going to retreat his probes to the second, trying to warp in some units here, warping in High Templar, and they're going to march right towards the army. I really hope Whitera does not suicide these. And units coming in here. What is going on? This is a very odd play. Whitera uses a zealot to push his Archon to evacuate. And really the damage is dealt. Looks like Whitera was harassing deeper into the base with some zealots. But yeah, no, the damage was more than dealt. Whitera was already behind in base count, and now losing his third is going to put him way behind, getting even more High Templar, simply making Archons, accruing storm energy, and here comes a massive Terran army, sending all the ghosts over here, going to be sniping a High Templar, sniping another High Templar, and I'm getting a little bit of lag here. I apologize for that, guys. Very rare do I get lag. But, Zealot goes down. Gonna find this pylon. It looks like he's just scouting for proxies so that he does not get harassed while he is attacking Whitera. So, if anything, that pylon bought Whitera tons of time. I'm just gonna clear my throat, cough into your ear. You guys will forgive me, right? But, yeah, Whitera gonna be pushing out with some Zealots and an Archon. This is not looking good for Whitera. What a terrible situation. I was afraid he was going to run into that army head on. Whitera trying to... he's not even going to try to saturate that base. He is on one base. He cannot produce an army. Lots of feedback on the Ghosts. EMP on all these High Templar. Not a good situation at all. Snipes going down on the High Templar. All Whitera has is light units. And Snipe is just slaughtering them. EMP on the Archons, and Whitera GG's. So, goes to show you guys, you need Ghosts. Ghosts are the one-stop shop to beating Protoss, so there you go. And, yeah, it was wise for him to stop producing Colossus. He just starts now after the Viking count is reasonably low. But Whitera could not afford to lose that base. And I kind of think he went the wrong tech choice. He also had a poor engagement against Happy here, losing all his Colossus to Vikings, and it was a good move on Happy's decision to get those Ghosts, to get that Raven for PDD, and to get those preemptive Vikings. Without those Vikings, the Colossus would have done far more damage, and then he could land those Vikings, and that's what cleaned up the Stalkers. So, good play by Happy. Whitera, better luck next time. I'm SCINC, and you're watching StarCraft Inc.